Rex, what is your biggest concern from an Eagles standpoint today against the Saints?
Is the coach losing this team? And we saw it last year. Can't tell me he didn't lose the team last year. They were one of the best teams in the league by far. And then all of a sudden they lose, 6 out of 7 to close out the year. And they never had any effort. And so that comes down to this. The Sirianni, I don't understand this guy. He goes in there, he gets questioned about play calling. Immediately he gives it one of these deals. He goes, I don't call plays. Like, well, what the hell do? You take the bows when you win, man. You're in there and you know, talking noise to people and all that. How about you take some accountability when your team loses? I got to say this.
Yeah.
There's a huge concern I also have with that defense. Because that defense can't rush the passer. 2 years ago, this is the same defense that was almost on a historic level for rushing the passer. Sacks, hits on the quarterback, whatever. Right now, Randy, they rank 30th in pressures, 32nd in quarterback hits. Wow. All right, by the way, points per drive, 29th in the league. That's awful. And so is yards per play. That'd be 31st. So the problem isn't with that offense as much and A.J. Brown not being there. It's on that defense.
Let me address losing the coach really quick. When Graz talks about after a loss and your starting quarterback goes up there and, you know, gives a speech to the team about accountability, you're almost on the same page with the coach. Hopefully that, like, why would you do that for a coach that you don't believe in? All right? I'm doing this for this team right here. I mean, I'm just saying it's a sign. He took the time to do that. You know what I mean? To show that he is still trying to right the ship for the coach. I'll say that. That's a sign.
Brew, here's the sign it is to me. Why the hell isn't the head coach up there talking about accountability? That's the thing that I'm concerned. Like, look, I know Jalen Hurts is accountable. That's what he is. That's who he is. He's an absolute huge teammate, a great teammate. Why the hell isn't the coach talking about accountability?
Sometimes it's even better to hear from
He's doing just the opposite.
So maybe today we start to find out a little bit about
let's start defensively for the Eagles today and making these guys punt. How about making them punt? All right, that's what I'd go in if I'm Fangio, the D coordinator like that. Fellas, it'd be a victory here if we made these guys punt because 15 out of 15 drives led by Derek Carr. By Carr-led drives have scored on every single drive. They have not punted when it counted. And I would look at that as a huge shot. You will punt today. You will punt today.
Brew, you were talking about punting. Earlier in the show, you were talking about a guy that could possibly be on your all-ridiculous team and be John Robinson, who the Eagles faced last week. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Well, guess who they're facing today? Mr. Kamara. Last week.
The Matrix.
One thing that really stands out to me, he averaged last week 6 yards per carry. 3 rushing touchdowns last week. So today, we're talking about Derek Carr and what he's done in the first couple of weeks of the season has opened this offense of something we haven't seen in New Orleans. Even when Drew Brees was there, they didn't look like this. So I think today, stopping the run, and I said earlier, the middle of the field, I think, is where the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be vulnerable the most. And the reason why? They like to high-low you with the play action. They like to send somebody in the middle. If the safety's back, they're going to throw it to him. If that safety comes up like they did last week, Rashid Shaheed, 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks off of play action. Watch for him, Greeny.
This New Orleans offense is for real, Greeny. It is for real. They are so multiple, and we've mentioned his name earlier in the show, Clint Kubiak, the new offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. Where did he come from? He came from San Francisco.
Kubiak.
And this is like it's like the Niners of the South. He was there last year with Kyle Shanahan. Both these guys' dads developed this offense, Gary Kubiak and Mike Shanahan, and boy, does he have them cooking. Man, it's so creative. They throw so much at you. This is one of those plays right here, Randy, you're talking about. Look at a motion down the extra tight end and snap this on the fly, and look at the 4 hands they get on Micah Parsons. They ran this multiple times in this game. Look at the pocket for Derek Carr. When he is not pressured, he is as good as there is in the NFL. And then again, when you protect that long, I don't care who's in the secondary, you can't cover that long, right? Especially with weapons like that. Man, they can push it downfield, play action. They can run downhill. They can misdirection you, screen you with Kamara.
It's crazy.
Like, they throw so much at you defensively. I mean, it's a problem. And again, at the Superdome, if they continue to protect up front, I mean, good luck if you're the Eagles.
Would you say it starts with the run game, though?
Absolutely.
Everything in the run game. So you want to see if a head coach has his team. Have you gotten into your defense's mind about what it is about? Not about sacking the quarterback. It's about stopping the run first. That's what I'll be looking for today.
No A.J. Brown today. I talked about Kamara on the other side. Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith is going to have to free him up. He's going to have to beat some man coverage today.
Derek Carr has been the least pressured pressured quarterback in the NFL. The Eagles are struggling to rush the quarterback. Feels like a bad matchup on that front. In an unrelated story, Hassan Reddick turns 30 today. Happy birthday to Hassan Reddick.
Happy birthday.
The Eagles' defense hasn't been, candidly, he's ruined 2 defenses this year, and he hasn't played a game one way or the other. Let's talk about his team today. The Lions are a 3-point favorite in Arizona today. How does Kyler and his team pull off the upset?
I've been telling you guys, I mean, Kyler Murray in September, it's a different monster. I mean, when he is 100% and he can run around. All right, the Lions, they're great at winning a street fight, okay? But the Cardinals, they're playing street ball. And crafty Tyler right here, because Jared Verse for the Los Angeles Rams, I just feel for the guy right here, because what a great job he does right here. There's a chip, there's an offensive tackle. He wins, but he doesn't. You just can't get your arms around this guy. He's on the ground. He gets up. Another defender's on the ground. Then Verse comes back, and he's on the ground again. We're chasing this guy around. We got 3 defenders looking at this guy, and he's throwing it. He knows he's caught it. My gosh, it's so, look at Kyler back there. He's not even looking anymore. He sees it's a touchdown. He knows, because not only his body, but I think his mind is like 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. He's so quick. He is a headache. So I think to myself during this game, okay, all right, Hutch, you got to run him down. You can't. It's impossible. It's about how that back end plays, because it's inevitable that Kyler Murray is going to be out there playing street ball. Can you beat it?
But Rex, an important point. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think this is, I hear you on the September Kyler, and I know we've seen that in the past, but I think this is different this year, right? He's not running the air raid offense anymore. This is a downhill physical run game. They play with multiple tight ends, a lot of times 3 of them out there. I think this is way more sustainable. And then you add that element to it. I mean, it's hard to defend. I think they're for real. They are a legitimate NFC team.
Then let me tell you why I say September, Kyler, because as the aches and pains go, he will slow down a little bit.
He's not taking the hits this year.
And why? He's been under center 45% of the time in the last game, and that's probably the second most time in his life. He's been under center, counting last year too. But this guy is now under center. It is great to watch.
Hey, this team is built the way Detroit built their team. And I'm telling you guys, like, fans, get it out of your mind. This is not that college terrible offense that we saw with Cliff Kingsbury and all that jazz. It ain't. This team is physical as heck. They are built in the same mentality as Detroit. And so this is going to be a dang slugfest. I'm just telling you.
Don't like the idea of Micah Parsons spying Lamar Jackson.
No way. They need somebody a little bit faster than that to spy Lamar Jackson. They need him to go get the quarterback.
Yeah, that would probably be in passing situations, and that would mean that you've stopped the run first. And I think that's the focus that should be.
All right, I've had to stop Mike Vick. I had to stop them all. If I had a pass rusher like Micah Parsons, no way in hell am I using Micah Parsons as a spy. He rushes the passer 100%. You never, ever slow down a pass rusher. And the great thing is, one like this, a special one, pass the quarterback underneath. No, he has a 2-way go 100% of the game, every game, or the entire season for his entire career. Let the other guys that don't rush the passer as good as Micah Parsons spy. No chance in hell. What it means right now, here's what you're gonna see from Dallas. They will rush. They will have a 3-man rush, and they're gonna put Micah Parsons back as a linebacker and be a second-level spy. Trust me, that's the only way in hell you would spy with Micah Parsons. And by the way, he probably might be as fast as Lamar Jackson. I don't know if I've ever seen a linebacker as fast as Micah Parsons.
So you saying he can do it? So you saying as the D coordinator,
I would never do it, dude. I would never do it.
All right.
I would never do it.
It's just the wrong focus. It's just the wrong focus. The focus is Derrick Henry, based on how they performed last week. That's the focus. I'm not trying to tell you. You're not automatically even going to be in a 3rd and long situation where you would put Micah Parsons in a spying situation if you can't stop the run in Derrick Henry.
So we focused a lot earlier this morning. It's obviously such a huge game. We focused heavily on the Dallas defense and their struggles. Let's go to the other side of this thing, Alex. As you watch their offense, the Baltimore offense sitting at 0-2, what is your single biggest concern?
Well, we heard Lamar reference it, right? Like they need to find their mojo, and that's exactly what it looks like on tape. Like, what's the identity of this offense? Last year they did a lot. They get under center, they spread you out, they can be downhill run, they can do a lot. Lamar can do everything, so you really have no limitations in that regard. And it works, and you look like a genius. Well, this year, none of it's really worked, and then it looks disjointed, right? Like, what is their identity? They blow the lead at the end of the game. They don't really commit to running the football. Like, what are they? They have Derrick Henry now. Do they get under center, put him in the dot? Are they downhill? Or do you feature Lamar, who, by the way, is one of the best players in the NFL. Like,
Yeah.
you should build it around him.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm interested today, like, here going to Dallas, like, what does it look like? Are they going to commit to the run? They've been struggling up front. John Harbaugh mentioned it. Are there maybe some changes made? Because that part of that offensive line has really struggled. So I do want to see what that looks like today. What do they find their identity?
I mean, for the fans who are getting ready to watch this game, I will just speak as a fan. Cowboys can't stop the run. Derrick Henry is very big and strong. Like, my immediate inclination would be to think they're going to give it to Henry, give it to Henry, give it to Henry. But you're telling me that it's Lamar who you think is going to beat this defense today.
Well, both. The reason this is historically been one of the best rushing football teams ever is because of Lamar, right? Like, it's because of him. And you can do a lot. So he can still get under center and hand the ball to Derrick, but you can do so much in the run game with him in the gun, spreading people out, equating numbers. So it should be both. That's what we saw last year. It was both, and it worked. And it's unbelievable. This year, again, it's been a little bit all over the place, and it hasn't worked.
Well, with that experiment, the one thing that we have not seen is the scoreboard lighting up. And I think for me, the formula in the red zone for the last few years for the Baltimore Ravens has been Mark Andrews over the middle in the red zone. We highlighted that for years. But there's one other guy that they have. Isaiah Likely is another tight end. So all the woes and flaws that they've had, definitely down in the red zone, I really think that this man right here, Isaiah Likely, is a hidden gem in the passing game and definitely in the red zone over the middle for Lamar Jackson. Week 1, this man had 12 targets. And you say, what, they lost the game by a toe?
Yep.
And then week 2 last week, he only had 3 targets, Rex. So I don't really understand who the weapon is, who they're trying to get started. Like I say, the experiment in the backfield has not been lighting up the scoreboard. They need some points today, and it's going to have to take those tight ends if they want.
I don't understand that. I mean, their offense to me looks crazy because, look, you're doing things completely backwards. Derrick Henry should get the ball with 9 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
He had 0 rushing attempts.
Yeah.
What the hell? If there's a better closer in the game, I don't know who it is. It should be Derrick Henry. The other thing is open up that play action. It's what you did better than anybody last year. Teams are copying you, and you're not doing it. So max protect, get 2 hands on Micah Parsons, or 4 hands on him. Protect the quarterback. Let Lamar have time to throw down the field.
To who?
The Raven defense, I mean, the whole team is
You
just.
can throw it to your liking.
He's right. Not only mojo, but like identity in terms of who you are. You guys talked about it offensively, but defensively, there's so much different too. Losing the defensive coordinator, they've allowed the most explosive pass plays in the league. It seems like they're stagnant on defense. So I've been looking at their defense. So I'll be watching the play calling offensively, and this defense, if they can be impactful in terms of making plays, because they haven't.
Well, that's what happens when you got a coach that's coaching out of a playbook. He doesn't know it like the old guy did, and
Mike
and all that.
McDonald is now the head coach in Seattle.
I'm sorry, but that's what happens. Sometimes when you say, well, we'll just keep the same defense, you don't have the same dude running it. And no offense, that guy doesn't have the experience of some of these other coaches. So we'll see. He may get better as the season goes. He better.
Hopefully he doubles CD today. Just double CD Lamb.
Y'all said it last week.
Anybody but CD. And it worked pretty good last week.
The Ravens keep blowing these double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. It's a disturbing trend, and we'll see if they're able to overcome that today, if they can open up that lead. Now,